Well, hi there, and welcome to our Sunday Song Time. Yes, here on the final Sunday of 2025. Yeah, I wasn't sure I would get around to doing a song, but I got a little break here, and I thought, why don't I do this one? It's a bit of an odd song to be doing, well, I'll get to the reason in a moment because one of the folks that listens to these Sunday song times on a regular basis, she was suggesting, hey, there's a hymn to the tune of Old Lang Syne. And I thought, oh wow, okay. So I've asked her to send me the title, and I'll see if I can find the words, and that might be a good one for our first song, Lord willing, in 2026 in the new year. But I wanted to do this song for a particular reason. Now, the song is called Better Is One Day, written by Matt Redman. Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. And it comes directly from Psalm 84. And I'll share a few verses from Psalm 84. But then today I was looking in the newspaper and I saw something and I thought, oh, I should share this with people. So, like I say, kind of an odd song to be doing maybe here as we anticipate going into a brand new year. Oh, and by the way, I guess I better say I hope you had a really nice Christmas time and maybe you're even still enjoying some time with family and friends right now. But this song, like I say, I'll do a bit of the shorter version for you. But it's called Better Is One Day. And listen to these words and then I'll explain why I'm doing this song on this particular Sunday. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord Almighty. For my soul longs and even faints for you. For here my heart is satisfied within your presence. I sing beneath the shadow of your wings. Better is one day in your courts, better is one day in your house, better is one day in your courts than thousands elsewhere. Better is one day in your courts, better is one day in your house, better is one day in your courts than thousands elsewhere. One thing I ask and I would seek, to see your beauty, to find you in the place your glory dwells. One thing I ask and I would seek, to see your beauty, to find you in the place your glory dwells. Better is one day in your courts, better is one day in your house, better is one day in your courts than thousands elsewhere. Better is one day in your courts, better is one day in your house, better is one day in your courts than thousands elsewhere. My heart and flesh cry out for you, the living God. Your spirit's water to my soul. I've tasted and I've seen. Come once again to me. I will draw near to you. I will draw near to you. Better is one day in your courts, better is one day in your house, better is one day in your courts than thousands elsewhere. Better is one day in your courts, better is one day in your house, better is one day in your courts than thousands elsewhere. Better is one day. Mm-hmm. Better is one day, better is one day than 1,000 elsewhere. Better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. And like I say, that comes directly from Psalm 84, where it begins. And it begins with these words, Psalm 84, verse 1, where it says, "How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord Almighty. My soul yearns, even faints, for the courts of the Lord. My heart and my flesh cry out for the living God." And we think about, now this was written, by the way, thinking about that temple of the Lord. Well, I don't know, think about an old church building, perhaps, because it says there in verse 3, "Even the sparrow has found a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, that she may have her young, a place near your altar." So we think about those little places up there in the crags of the rocks where even a sparrow can build a nest near the altar of God. Lord Almighty, my King and my God, blessed are those who dwell in your house. They are ever praising you. And that's the goal someday, right? To be ever praising him in the house of God. Now, it says, blessed are those whose strength is in you, whose hearts are set on pilgrimage. So we're on a journey, aren't we? We're on a journey. Oh, and I was just thinking, okay, a little New Year's thought. I might expand on this more, Lord willing, in 2026. I kind of knew 2025 was going to be a difficult year. I don't know why. I'm not a prophet, but I really felt it was. But I'm getting a little, I don't know, thought in my head, perhaps, that maybe we're going to turn a bit of a corner in 2026. I don't know, but I think people are getting tired of some of the anger being expressed in our world right now, particularly here in North America. Even some of the angry stuff coming from people people of God who are just angry. And I think people are beginning to realize, no, there's something we need more than that. We're on pilgrimage. Now, full disclosure, I am a follower of Jesus. I hope everybody becomes a follower of Jesus. But I live in Canada, a country that never existed when this psalm was written, a country that never existed in Jesus' day, right? Where everybody has a vote, everybody has freedom of speech. And so, yes, absolutely, while I am a follower of Jesus, and I hope you'll follow along too, I also recognize, hey, listen, you're free in this country. You follow whatever you wish. You live out your faith however you wish. I'm a champion of that. Oh, I hope you'll also allow me to live out my faith as I wish to. But we're not at war with people. We're not at war with people. And so here's what I'm getting at. And it says, well, all right, in verse 10, and it's interesting because the psalm, it says that it's of the sons of Korah. And you'll see that in some of the notations here in some of the psalms, the sons of Korah. And I found out one time, and I wrote a little note here, that the sons of Korah were actually doorkeepers. They were doorkeepers. And we think about the house of God. And so they were people that, opened the door for people coming in to the house of God, maybe. Now it says here, in verse 10, and the title of this song that I did, better is one day in your courts than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than dwell in the tents of the wicked. I'd rather, and now I have often thought, whenever I've thought about that verse, I've usually thought about, well, someday, eventually, right, being in heaven someday. And by the way, that heavenly home, it's a gift we receive when we put our faith and trust in Jesus. Trust me, I'm no better than, boy, some of that you'd be surprised at how unbetter I am than a lot of people. But my hope and faith are in Christ, and he says, if you believe in me, right, even though you die, you will live again. And we have a place in the kingdom of God, in heaven. And so I've often thought to myself, yeah, you know what? Man, if I even get to be the guy that opens the door for people coming in and out of the presence of the Lord, I'll be happy with that, right? And so I've looked forward, to maybe even just being the doorkeeper. I'll tip my hat to you maybe on your way in. But then I got a different perspective, and it came from the obituaries this weekend in the Waterloo Region Record. Yes. Oh, trust me, you reach a certain age, you'll be reading the obituaries every weekend too. But anyway, and I don't know this man. He was the Reverend Dr. James Robert Horn, and he passed away December 20th, not too far from where I'm recording this right now, in Waterloo, Ontario. But they quoted him, and he said, the good things in my life have been due to periods of hard work, right? And he recognized that. We have, don't just sit around thinking God's going to do everything for you. No. He's got things for you to do. And he has other people to help us with when we do these things. He spoke about his wife and also some friends. And so as we live through this life, as our hearts are on pilgrimage, this life is a gift to enjoy, absolutely, but also rely on the strength of other people as you carry on, and that's what Reverend Horn did, and he talked about all of these different, well, he called them miraculous accidents that occurred in his life. Yeah, they're really, and I think he realized there really are no coincidences. No, God is behind everything, isn't he? And he said, I'm tempted to see a divine plan for my life. Have you been tempted to see that divine plan for your life? God's got you here for a reason. And he says, all I can suggest is that on several occasions in the normal course of my work, I did routine things that opened new possibilities for others, as if I were opening a door. Perhaps then, he writes, I have been a doorkeeper in the house of God. And he said, I like that idea. And I thought, Reverend Horn, someday I'm going to thank you for writing this and your family for putting it in the newspaper. Because I like that idea too. And I suddenly realized, oh yeah, it's not like I'm waiting someday, to be in the house of the Lord for eternity in heaven. But right now, you and I can be the doorways. You and I can open the doors for people to find their own way into this wonderful experience that we've had in following Jesus. And when we think about being a doorkeeper, it's not like, oh yeah, we decide who's in and who's out. Oh no, that's somebody with a far higher job description than mine is responsible for that. But I'm simply to open the door, to allow everyone to taste and see that the Lord is good. And so may we all be doorkeepers. Not to close them and lock them, but to open and say, hey, come on in, see what we've experienced. Let's open the door for everyone to experience Jesus Christ. Like I say, it's a free country, sure. And I'll give you freedom to ignore it. You give me freedom to preach it and sing these songs. But may we all be a link in somebody's chain when they look back over their life and say, hey, that person helped me find my own way to the house of the Lord, where even a sparrow can find its nest. Well, I hope you enjoy those thoughts. Again, the song is called Better Is One Day by Matt Redman. And may you have a very happy New Year. New Year's Eve coming up. And Lord willing, maybe another Sunday song time begins in the year 2026. God bless you.